Alright, here we go. So, hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. I'm gonna give this a minute to see if more people join. Sorry. Yeah, here we go. So, gonna wait a minute, see how many people join. Hello Neo. How are you? Let's see. Yeah. So, let's see. So, today I have with me not a person, but a drawing. This is a really old drawing of something that I did. I was playing around in my sketchbook when I didn't have my iPad with me one time, and I just wanted to draw some sort of character, but I didn't know what to do. So I made up a character kind of just off the bat, and was left with whatever this is. So, I've recently been doing more with making new characters, and by doing more, I mean I've thought of better stories for them, and like backstories and such. So I have a really good idea that I want to do with this guy, so rather than just trashing him and just kind of ignoring the fact that I created this one, I'm just gonna update his design, but I'm gonna update it a lot. So, I think the main part of his design that I definitely want to keep is like these type of gradient paw things. Actually, they aren't really gradients. They're kind of not graded. I don't think that's the term for that. But the main part of his paws are black, like that. And then there's just these kind of, like, if this is the paw, and, like, if this is your paw, the main part of his paw is black. Oh. Yeah, people are hard to draw sometimes. Oof. So, where was I? So, yeah. So they're kind of like this, and then they just kind of, kind of gradually get farther apart with these little lines on them. But there's also like a gradient behind it, so that fades away. But yeah, so something like that for his paws. So that's like the main part of this that I want to salvage, other than the fact that he's a wolf. And I might keep some of these face triangles. I don't know. I'll probably get rid of whatever this is on the nose, but I might. I'll probably keep this. I might add in another one, depending on how things look in the end. Almost all my characters have something on their, some sort of belly marking, just because it seems too empty without it for me. So definitely keeping that, just like any of my characters. I might keep something like this on the back. Wings are getting completely ditched, and this is how I used to do fluff on my characters. Like, what is this? Also, look how like straight this tail is. I didn't give it any kind of flow at all. It's just there. But, this is how I used to do the fluff, where I'd have just these, like, finger things. Actually, for the full, like, from when I started drawing, Yes. Face triangles and finger fluff. That's basically my art style in this era of whatever this was. So when I first started animating stuff, it was hilarious. I'll have to find... Ooh, did I keep them? I think I kept some things because I wanted to make a video. This might be kind of loud, just real quick, but it's also terrible audio if you can hear that. This was the first animation meme I ever made. Not the first animation I'd ever made. I'd made other short things. But, I've made other animations before this, but not animation memes, and they were all like 3 seconds long. So this was the first animation meme I did, clearly copied background off the internet. Apparently, I used to have this weird watermark thing that I made for myself in the corner. I don't know. But let's just embrace this together. Very cringy, mind you, but you know, we're gonna try and make it through this one. Anyway, yeah, you get the gist of it. Anyways, a couple notes on this. To some people that I showed it to in my school, they would joke that through this little cycle, she died. Also, this is like really super duper... This was like the very first style of Windmaster. This is Windmaster right here. This was her very first design. Extremely generic. No blue whatsoever except for the eyes. Ears were still generic pink. And I didn't know how to draw, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is also just, you know, my own kind of self-deprecating. But, so, this was supposed to be, like, this was supposed to be, like, here. It's supposed to be things I enjoy. YouTube, flip a clip, my pets, etc. Other things I enjoy, I guess. Food. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, other things that I like. Then this was like, I guess things I fear or don't enjoy too much. So, like, for some reason I did an anthill. I don't know why. That little mountain thing was supposed to be fear of heights. I don't know why I put myself on a tightrope. Tightrope? I don't know. And at the time, that mosquito was the best thing I ever drawn. So, yeah, there's that. I had no comprehension of how paws work. And, fun fact, I would copy and paste every single thing from my previous animations, given this was my first one, so I didn't really have anything to copy and paste. But I made this whole chart. I had a chart of, like, mouths and ears and stuff that I would just copy from my little chart thing, and then just bring them over here, paste them, move them around. I only did tweening, except for, like, whatever this is. Once again, not the best walk cycle I've ever done. But, and, you know, this is mostly a tween animation meme, but I think I could have done more, I just didn't want to. So, yeah. Apparently she's dead. So that was my very first animation meme. If I wanna... Let's see, I don't have other things. Oh my god. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Here was the floppy ears thing. Warning, she dabs, apparently, because that was a thing when I made this. These are all, like, a few years old, way before I had a YouTube channel, but I thought, okay, you know, sooner or later I'll have one, and I'll just post out this amazing artwork here. And at the time, you know, it was okay, but I still felt like I could have done better with it at the time. Like, while I was making it, I'm like, you know, I can try harder. So this is my second one, I believe. Or at least the second one that I finished, other than one that I scrapped basically in the making of it. I was gonna do Ghosts, if you've ever heard of that one. It's like the I Don't Believe in Ghosts song, whatever that is. So, I did that one, but like halfway through I was like, no, I'm not finishing this, so I scrapped it. But this one, this one was a trip. I love this one. I just want and then I just gave up. I just gave up. I didn't know what to do for this, so I just did that. Dabbing furries, because why not? Whatever this is. This was a very interesting one. I think this was one of my favorite animations at the time, because it was just so ridiculous in general. Here's one that this also became my favorite once, you know, out of probably that entire year that I was animating all of my stuff in this art style, this was probably my favorite one. A, because it was the longest and it took the most time, but B, because I actually tried. I'll point out something later in the end, because it's not going to make sense if I say it now, but this is the Sick Boy animation meme. And I had an idea in mind for a character. I had an idea in mind for a character, and nowadays that character has an actual design, although I do have to update it. But basically, it's the backstory behind it is there's this dog that used to be used in like fighting or something. He ended up being pretty much ditched after he was found of no more use and put into a junkyard where he just kind of, I mean, he wasn't put into the junkyard, but like, you know, whoever the fighting dog people were decided, hey, we don't need this stupid dog anymore, he can't fight, we're just gonna basically throw him out in the streets. So they did. He found the junkyard, decided to live there, and ended up fighting other dogs away from his junkyard, because that was like his territory or something. I don't know. This was my really old story, but I animated it with Windmaster because I didn't have time, or I had plenty of time. I just didn't think to make a different design, so I just used Windmaster for it, and I don't know why. But basically, over time, they got in their fights, they lost limbs, they got injured a bunch of times, and whenever they would lose something more significant, like a limb, then, limb or an eye or something, then they'd basically collect scrap metal and somehow make themselves new limbs out of scrap metal that they found in their junkyard. So, yeah, here we go. Not all of this animation makes sense for that exact story, but, you know, I tried at the time.
From the east side of America, where we choose pride of character, we can pick sides, this is us, this is us, this is. I live on the west side of America, where they spin lies to fairy dogs, and we can pick sides, but this is us, this is us. this is. And don't believe the narcissism when everyone projects and expects you to listen to them. Make no mistake, I live in a prison that I built myself, it is my religion. And they say that I am the sick boy. Easy to say when you don't take the risk, boy. Welcome to the narcissism. We're united under our indifference.
Cringe warning. Stock images in the background too. So yeah, that was my best work of the time. A few words of critique. This earpiece took me absolutely forever to get it exactly the way that I wanted, and this is what I wanted. These characters, very generic, just like Windmaster was at the time. I just made up on the spot. They have no significance to the story other than the fact that Cyborg Dog or whatever was cast out. So, there was that. Also, part of whatever this was. But, oh yeah, by the way, with the little white bars that come down, that was the first time I did any kind of, like, thing that wasn't a character. That was, like, I guess editing. I only used Flipperclip, so it's not really like an editing software, but you know, just the first time I did anything interesting that wasn't a character or like an object. So, yeah. This took forever to draw. I don't know why I did this. I just wanted to make it look like the word lies turned into dust and then floated away. I didn't want the whole thing to float away, but I didn't have time to do the rest of it. True, it did. I kind of ditched that old design, didn't I? I'm trying to show you how my art style has evolved over the years and why I'm changing things. So, yeah, that was the thing. More repetitive because, I don't know. First time with words in it. Whatever this mouth is, I have no idea. It looks like a staple remover. You know those things that even to this day I find them so amusing to just, you know, clamp them back and forth, but it looks like a staple remover. So there's some imagery for you. I don't know why this one's in jail. I guess also part of being cast out. I didn't know what I was doing. This was, like, the best thing to me at the time. I was so impressed with this lip sync. I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. No one can do better than me. But now I look at it and I'm like, oh. So, yeah, so, the glitch thing, too, that was a thing I'd never done before. I liked how that turned out. But, I can't even find a clear, there it is, it was like for one frame. There we go. This was old Windmaster's bad side. Except it was like a separate being. I don't know where those horns are coming from. I don't know why I had to go this all out with the shading, but I did. Why the teeth are stained red, I don't know. But this was old Windmaster's dark side, because, you know, you gotta have one of those if you're gonna make an edgy OC. So, this was super duper repetitive, but I was proud of the background part. The front ground I always knew was kind of cringy. The foreground, I mean. And then look at this in between the two. And then whatever this frame was, I used to laugh so hard at this frame. It cracked me up. And it still does. I mean, now I'm laughing harder. But so yeah, so whatever this was, and then that would repeat, and then I was really proud with how the wings turned out here at the end. That I was happy with. I don't know why, but I was. Yeah, pretty much. But, yeah, and then I decided, yeah, let's do the same exact thing, minus the background characters, and then just stretch everything, because why not, you know? Look at this wide, very wide. Right. So then I just did that, and then I enjoyed Google searching backgrounds of somewhat of what I wanted, didn't care that there was watermarks all over them. I'm like, oh, well, it has watermarks, I can use it, it's fine. I knew nothing about getting images, or citing them for that matter. Plus, I don't know what this foreground drawing is either, that's just bad. The watermarks cracked me up, man. And then, once again, Dark Windmaster, whatever this was. Where her other wing went, I don't know. This interesting PNG I found, whatever this was, that was okay, you know. At the time, I was like, yeah, I'm proud of that. But let me point something out to you. Hand. Okay? That is a hand. Yes, she's laying in PNG dirt on the floor with no eyeball, apparently. But but yeah, so minus that, look here. We have a hand, whatever the ears and face are, doesn't matter. But look, we have a hand here, hand here, hand here. 2 paws. These are paws here, mind you. This metal eyeball came out of nowhere, and it's just flat. And, you know, hand, paws, hand and paw. I didn't have an art style. Also, not to mention how out of proportion the legs are in general, or arms. I don't know what they are. So, and then this thing, which, you know, was my first attempt ever at, like, making fur move. And another taken background off the internet. So, that was one of my best animations that time. I can't, I think that's all that I saved, that I haven't uploaded on my YouTube yet. Other than some other things that I've made. Like this, because my cat feels the need to run away from my dad for no reason. So I made this.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
So I did make that. This has been fun showcasing all of these. This is very fun. So, anyway, back to what I was doing. So, looking at cheek fluff in particular, because that's where I was originally going with this. It used to be like this. This was my cheek fluff. The head is a square, apparently. And this was my cheek fluff. Head fluff was like this. Ears were always generic, like this. But, you know, up here. So that was my art style, you know? That's what I did. And then whatever shape this was. And the noses were really weird. They were like this. So, that was my beautiful art style, you know? And I loved it. It was the best thing. really long mouths for some reason. I don't know. That's basically my old art style in a nutshell. Then I decided, okay, what if I changed things? What if I made it slightly less square, but still kind of square? Instead of this, or whatever I had, what about fingers? Because that was a good idea. I don't know where these came from. This was basically the same. And then after that, I had a phase where I did like the little, not like that, but like the leaf kind of shape, like that. I did that for a while. At the time, I think I started pointing the first one and bringing these up more, like that. Or maybe I just brought the whole thing up more like that. I did that for a little while, and then it changed to like that. Soon after that, I got the cheek fluff that I have today, but I still did this for my hair for a while. But that lasted like one animation, and then I went ahead and did that, but this is not Windmaster. So, if I were to redo this character now, his hair would probably just be really short. It doesn't work on this face at all, but... So, anyway, I'm gonna attempt to remake this character. Also, in case y'all were curious, I've talked about my cats in previous streams, and here's two of my cats that I have. This is Simba, who I'm with most of the time, because I live in my dad's house. This is at my dad's house, this is my mom's house, but, so this is Simba. She's a dork. She follows me around all the time, and she meows at me a lot. And then this is Chester. He's basically a Saint Bernard in a cat's body. I don't know. He's huge. He's like probably 20 pounds, but still in shape, which is weird for a cat. And his paws are just basically bear paws. They don't look like it under all that fluff, but underneath they're basically just bear paws. Like, bears. I don't know how bear paws look, but, he has very big paws, so that's Chester for you. So, yes. That's an E. So, yes, Chester, and I can't spell with my finger on a screen like this. And this is Simba. Simba is a female, mind you. This has a very funny story to it. There, that's better. So, Simba, when Simba was a kitten, Simba was named Simba because she would crawl up on top of the couch, on top of the highest pillow that we had, and just meow out her soul. I'm like, oh look, it's Simba. At the time, he is on Pride Rock, Pride Pillow, or whatever. So, yeah. And then later on in her life, which at the time we thought was his life, we're like, hey, this cat's getting older. We probably should neuter this cat so that they don't do unneutered cat things like pee everywhere to mark their territory or just be generally violent. So took him to the vet. We're like, hey, we want to neuter this cat, and they're like, hey, we can't neuter this cat. We're like, why? Because it has to be spayed because it's a female. We're like, oh. I don't know how we messed that up. That was maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. I don't know how old she is. I guess maybe 3 years ago, I guess. But, I had no comprehension of male versus female cats. I mean, I did. I just didn't think about it with this one. So, yes, male. But he's, male, female, Simba. She responds to her name, and she follows me around, so, very precious baby. And that's why her mouth is open in a lot of the pictures that I have of her, because she just meows at me while I'm taking pictures. Or anyone's taking pictures for that matter, because she's always constantly meowing at you. But this one, he's relatively quiet. He's an indoor and outdoor cat, so he just kind of goes in and out whenever he wants. He's recently found what it's like since it's getting colder, since it's winter now. He's recently found out what it's like to be pampered as an inside cat, and he's gotten extremely super duper cuddly and sweet. I mean, he's always been that way, but you know, even more so. So, you know. Anyway, so, yes, moving on, doing, let's see, how long has this stream been that I've just been rambling on? Yeah, 30 minutes I've wasted of just talking about my cats and my old animations. So, anyway, let's move on to what y'all actually came here for, and that's, you know, redrawing this dude, so, you know, yeah, yeah, so, I'm thinking, basically, I'll talk to you as I'm drawing now. He's pretty much, his name is Aku, spelled A-K-U, that is the wrong layer, like, A-K-U, his name is Aku. Fun fact, how I used to always name my characters, which I don't do anymore, thank God. Other than Windmaster herself, Windmaster had a different story behind her name, which, if you've been here before, you probably know that story. If not, I might tell it again later. So, but I used to, I'd look up, like, whatever kind of character it was, if he or she was, like, more related to stars, like this one is, then I'd look up names meaning, like, stars, or names meaning space, or, you know, names relating to space, or whatever. And almost every single time, I'd end up on this, like, parenting website. Oh, cute names to name your child. And I'm like, yeah, this works. So, I've been naming a lot of my characters that are older tend to have really generic human baby names, because that's just where I got them from. But, you know, I don't do that anymore. Some of them were just based off of names that I thought were interesting or cool, but some, when I really had no idea what to name my characters, instead of maybe asking someone, hey, do you have any ideas? I'm making this character, maybe you would like to help name them. No, I didn't do that. I had to look on a parenting website on what to name your child. So, that's a fun little thing I've done in the past, so. I know what I want to do for this character, it's just a matter of drawing it, and I really wanted to do a stream of it to show my process. But, anyway, so, basically, Aku here, I forget what his name means, but it's something relating to stars. So yeah, there's that. But, he, nowadays, you know, back before he was just some anonymous character that I had who didn't really have a story, but now that I've made him a story and he's become a more predominant character, he's gonna have that older look that a lot of my characters tend to have now when I draw them. Which is another thing. As I've gotten older, my art style has looked older. Like, my art style tends to look my age, if not a little bit older. So whenever I'm drawing, like, Windmaster, I think she can look kind of like a teenager. But how I used to draw Windmaster, she would look like 8 or something, however old I was. But, so I've noticed that in my style. It's changed as I've changed. Oh no, this sound is way too thin. But, you know. So, actually, for anyone who hasn't been here and who doesn't know how I got Windmaster's name, in 3rd grade, and, you know, if you people have heard this before, then you're gonna be like, ugh, not again, so, you know, I'm just gonna tell you again, though, because I don't care. But in 3rd grade, I was playing on a balance beam at recess, and, you know, I was hanging out on this balance beam. That's normally where I sat because, I mean, I had friends, but they were always, a lot of my friends would always be off with their other friends playing, like, I don't know, whatever that, like, guppies and sharks or something? Sharks and guppies? Sharks and something, I don't know, some sort of name for a baby fish. But not fish. So I would, you know, I didn't like playing that kind of game. I was a really kind of quiet, kept to myself kind of person, and I still kind of am. But I'm more social than I used to be. So, yeah. But normally, I just kind of either hang out staring at grass or, you know, just hang out on the balance beam or whatever, and just kind of sit there. Yeah, sharks and minnows. That's what it is. Yeah, sharks and minnows, that's what it was. Thank you, Sunpal. Yeah, so, yeah, so one day I was playing on the balance beam, doing my little introvert thing, and this giant gust of wind came and just kind of... Wait, no, that wasn't it. No, I'm sorry. I lost my balance first. I lost my balance because I was actually standing on it rather than sitting on it today, this time that I was doing this. And, I lost my balance, started to fall, and then this giant gust of wind came and basically just picked me back up onto the balance beam. I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I just could have fallen and broke my face, but I didn't, so that's nice. So, to test my immediate theory of, clearly I can control the wind, because, you know, as introverted as I was when I was by myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm the best person ever. Me in 3rd grade, like, yeah. Yeah, I'm magical. I'm great. So, to test my immediate theory that I could control the Earth's wind patterns, I purposely attempted to fall on my face again and fall off of the balance beam. Anyone who may have been here when this happened, I would have looked insane, because you could just see me purposely falling off of this thing, attempting to hurt myself. But once again, my theory did not prove wrong, and another gust of wind came and picked me back up again. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Clearly I can control the wind. So, you know, I'm master of the winds, and that Windmaster, that's where that came from. And it's a very stupid story, but it's a funny story, and I like it. So, what just happened? Oh. So, yeah, it's a pretty stupid story, but it's funny. So, I like telling people that story. But the name just kind of stuck, so from here on out, I've just been Windmaster. And, you know, it's just a cool little thing. It's part of my personality now, part of my life. So, yeah, there's that. But pretty much all of my other character names around that time, which y'all haven't seen almost any of my characters yet. The next one I'm animating, well, the one I'm animating right now is gonna have Windmaster, but the one I do after that, probably after that, it may end up being way after, but I'm doing another one with Lavender, who I did in my June animation meme, and I'm debating on whether or not I should change her name because I don't want to cause confusion, because although she is lavender colored, her flowers are not lavenders. So I might change her name to something else, kind of spring related. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna draw Aku in more of a feral form rather than an anthro form, because I do so many of my characters in anthro, but this particular story that he's a part of doesn't have any anthro characters in it. They're just feral, and most of them are mythical creatures or a mixture of more than one creature. But yeah, so I've been working on that story, whatever that story may turn out to be. But in one of my previous streams, I showed a kind of, was it done by then? I'm not positive if it was done by then. Crap. I would go out and show you, but I've been working on a lot of self-portraits recently, and I'd have to scroll through all of those, and as of right now, I don't want to share my face with my YouTube channel, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. But, so I'm just gonna try and explain it. He's basically a mixture between, I guess, a lion and a dragon, but more dragon focused in some aspects. It's like a lion, a wolf, and a dragon. Plus he has somewhat a skull for a face. He's gonna be longer than that. So, yes, but basically, I'm making, if you've ever been on Webtoons and have possibly read Lore Olympus, it's gonna kind of be like that, where it's just a alternate reality of gods. However, I'm kind of making this one up. It's not gonna be based off of, like, Greek or whatever, Greek mythology like Lore Olympus would be, or is, I guess. But here, I'm gonna have to move this up because he is, I guess with Aku here, he's gonna be mostly wolf, but also like mostly like a gray wolf, but he's gonna have a little bit of maned wolf in him, so he's gonna be very tall. So I've been trying to decide different like relationships between all of my characters and how they can all tie into one story. But the lion dragon thing I was just talking about, he's basically going to be the god of the sun god, and then Aku kind of rules over like dark matter, more specifically like black holes and such, just because he's going to be a very dark colored character with some brighter highlights to him. But here, I really hope I can get this design to turn out the way I want it to, because I've been working on this. I've been working on this idea for a while now, but I've really wanted to stream me drawing him like this and updating this character. So I've been waiting to draw it, and now I just haven't drawn it. But, here, sometimes I do some things like a stick figure almost, and then I go back and do kind of like a, oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's copy, paste that, move it over and then up a little bit, back, over and down, but, there, I guess that's better. So these are like shoulder blades, or like hips, I guess. Shoulder blades, hips, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I mean, for animals, I guess all four are legs, but since I draw so many anthro characters, I call the front two arms. Even before I was drawing anthro characters, I'd still call the front two arms as if it was just a person on all fours. But, yeah, so, dang, I can't figure out the proportions of what I want this to be. The legs are gonna have to be longer, so I'm gonna have to resize this whole thing. I think that's just what I'm gonna have to do now. So, but you know, I'll try and get at least the body done, I guess. Or body's sketch done. So I'm gonna attempt to finish this drawing today in this stream, but still kind of, I guess, at least get the sketch done before I resize things here, so that I can get in the legs, or get the sketch of the body done, so I can get into legs. Here. Nope, wrong tool. Grab that, and move that up. There. So, yes, he's gonna be a lot more, I mean, he's less fluffy in some places, but like his face and neck, mostly his neck, are gonna be fluffier, and his tail's going to be very fluffy. But other than that, he's gonna be pretty, pretty low furred. Not low. I can't think today. I mean, I can, but not with this in particular. I'm not very good at, like, figuring out what to say during streams, so I just kind of talk about whatever's going through my head at the moment, which sometimes I can't put into words. So, you know, it's tough. A lot tougher than I thought it was going to be, given that I've been basically talking to myself in the mirror, acting like I'm streaming for my entire life. But, you know, it's fun, you know, I'm glad I get to share my ideas on a deeper level with you guys, so that you can really see my process and see how I work through things. To me, I find that interesting to watch other people do. And, you know, I think it's an interesting thing in general. It can help people learn and, you know, get better with their own skills. Not that anything's bad. But, you know, it can help people improve based off of who they're inspired by. These legs are gonna look really weird at first, but I always resize them, no matter what. I don't know why I'm doing the legs, I just said that I wasn't going to. But probably won't get to the feet exactly. looks really out of proportion, but I'm gonna try and get it to work. Nope, that looks like the back now. How does that work? You know, their legs like get thinner at a certain point, but if I do that, it looks like the back of the foot, like the foot would have to be here. But that would be turned inward, and I don't want that. So here, if I just sketch out the foot here where it's supposed to be, I guess it's fine. I'm not sure. Foot in general is gonna change, I think. Here, I'm doing my 3, I want 4 here. There we go. Not quite. There, and then I'll shape those better in a minute. Maybe I just don't do this. I don't do this on any other of my characters. There's a certain kind of muscular, but also, like, gentle look I'm going for with this. Like, in shape, but not intimidating. A little intimidating, but not too much. I guess. I'm not sure. I want to have long legs, but not be out of proportion. Which they are right now. But, I guess that's pretty close to where I want it. And then I'm just gonna go back and get this here. You notice I'm very particular with things, even in my art. Like, even in my sketches, I get very particular with things. Like that, maybe? Is that too much? I think that's too much on the top now. Let's see, how was it before? Definitely an improvement there. Maybe. Yeah. It's closer to what I wanted it to be, but now I think this part is too big. So I just want to maybe rotate that. Like there, maybe? I think, yeah, that's fine. So I tend to get pretty particular even with my sketches when I don't need to be. Sometimes I'll almost completely finish the eyes, but in my sketch layer. And I think the main reason I do that is because I tend to find eyes as a larger part of my art style. Here, yeah, that's pretty close to what I want. Might be able to move that down a bit there. And I'm gonna get this, move that. So that's a little bit less of a shoulder blade there. There we go. Let's see what happened to this fluff since it's back here. I guess, can I try this? It might not work. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Just gonna redraw it. So, that's the wrong way, and I acknowledge it. But I think maybe is that too much? I think that might be too much. I don't know. We'll find out. So, yeah, this is turning out well. This is how I wanted this to go. I didn't think it was gonna go this well, but this is exactly what I had in my mind when I got this idea to make him like this. So, bring that up a little bit. That maybe. I might not have changed anything at all, but let's see. It's a slight difference. I kind of like it how it was. Although I think if I take this and move it, like, oh, maybe. Here, maybe just rotate it a bit and bring it inward. I think it's just too outward when it's like that. You know? No. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Yep, that's good. So, thinking here. I'm gonna beef up these paws. I don't want them round. They cannot be round. I guess I'll fix them later. Yeah. That's okay for now. Getting the general idea across. Always bring out the upper lip. And then somewhat the downward lip after I do the main part of the muzzle. I didn't mean to make it that straight, but I did, and then I just have this now. Yes, it's beautiful. I'm gonna leave it that way. Yeah, this is peak art skill right here. This takes time, man. This takes years of practice to get this good. I love making stupid little pieces of artwork, especially if I'm trying to make the rest of it serious and then I just and now I just want to draw a whole bunch of little stupid faces just like in the corner here. Looks like this is gonna inhale your soul. This doesn't look. There, it's Popcat. It's Popcat. We're like Kirby Cat, man. This thing's gonna inhale. This thing's going to inhale your soul. Yeah, me too, Neo. Oh, there's like, have you ever seen those, like, container things that people have in front of, like, under construction houses? Where, it's kind of like a giant trash bin, but it's like a storage container, but for trash. It's really weird now that I think about it, but so yeah, sometimes I do stuff like that, but sometimes I'm just like, you know what, furry. And then you take away the face and you just have you just end up with this, whatever this is. Ah yes, the creature of your nightmares. You better watch out. I'm getting really off topic, but I'm having fun. So, yeah, so the storage container things, the trash container things. I had one outside my house for a while, and I did a little oh on it with my finger because it was kind of dusty. Turns out it wasn't dust. It was like old, I guess not old paint, not like it was chipping away old, but like the dust was part of the paint around it now. So when I wiped away the dust with my finger, it like took a part of the paint with it, I guess. I don't know. But now and I tried to like wipe it away, like just kind of get rid of it, like gently though, because I didn't want to make a giant spot of this slightly worn away paint or something. So now there's just an OO on that trash container forever. And every time I go outside, every time I go outside and I see it, I'm just like, oh my god. This is my face whenever I see it. You know, here, I'm gonna... That's the thumbnail of this. When I'm done, this is the thumbnail of this whole stream. I'm making that thumbnail. Beautiful. So, of course I'm gonna keep this layer. It's not even attached to anything. Of course I can keep it. Okay, so, yeah. So now there's just a forever OO on the trash bin outside my house. And when that trash bin leaves our property, if they don't clean it, it will be there forever. And that fact fascinates me. The fact that it may very well stay there forever. So I'm very easily amused with some things. Yep, that's basically all of my streams in a nutshell, Neo. Come for the drawing, stay for the laughs. Or more like come for the drawing, stay for the memes. I mean, this has to be classified as a meme at this point. This is a mood all in itself. A mood with words. A mood that words can't explain, but pictures can. It's my laugh weird. I get really self-conscious about, you know, whatever strange noises tend to come out of my mouth. But, you know, I exist. I exist nonetheless on this plane of existence that we call Earth, and I make stupid animal person drawings because why not? You're floating. Yeah, you gotta, stream highlights. Meme compilation of Woodmaster's stream highlights. Yeah, I can see that happening. So, you know, I sit on this plane of existence and do stupid furry people. And, you know, I'm happy with that. I'm happy. I like this content coming from me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm attempting with this paw. What is this? What? I don't know why I started working at this angle. Just did, I guess. Here, I want it. Arrows help me. This one would be like this way. So going from the ground, I want the paw itself to be like here, maybe? Facing this way. Not this way. Not that way. I gotta read that. His face is how I feel right now, trying to figure out how much the prism has changed if I multiply the slant high by 3, but I don't have any other numbers. Yeah, basically. I keep on forgetting that I haven't done math this year, so it's very strange reading what I just read and thinking, what on earth is... What even was that word? It was slant high? Prisms? I know what a prism is, but like, what? Slant high? Questions? Keep on forgetting that I haven't taken math this year yet. I've taken science and English, and this is my brain. Given science and English are like some of my favorite classes. I like a lot of my classes, but you know, I just I like any of my classes really if I have a good teacher, but otherwise I don't do very well. If you're here and you've been to my school, you may know the particular teacher that I'm referring to when I talk about not doing well without a good teacher. And 6th grade social studies. But yep, pretty much. Deku's arm after a single punch. This face though. Oh yeah, do your math test, man. Don't. What time is it? It's 7:30. My brain has turned into mush, and I cannot function unless I have this emotion. Yes, the maths and the civics. Yeah, civics. I always call it social studies. You know, I used to always, history class. And then they're like, no, it's social studies. I'm like, okay, social studies. I guess civics is a different thing altogether, but like, I guess it's like, geometry instead of algebra instead of math. I don't know. But, like, why is... I can't... How do you paw here? How do I paw? This is a good enough shape. That's not a pencil. I question my existence every single second of every day. Yeah, pretty much. But, like... What? What am I doing? This is like... just, because I don't talk in front of people very often, it's... Before I start a stream, I'm so excited. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stream right now. Oh, bye, Sun Paul. You can go do whatever you're doing, it's fine, but, so, what? My brain is dead. So, what was I just talking about? Oh yeah, so, since I don't talk in front of people too often, I don't know what this stream is. It's me drawing and attempting to speak. Me attempting to draw and attempting to speak, and it's neither of them are working together. But they're trying to work together, but they really aren't. Really isn't working well. So I'm stopping it there. I'm not doing any more with this other than like paw pads, but I'm not working anymore with the shape of this actual paw. I can't anymore. Paw pads and claws. Very fun, but in a way it's tough to keep it consistent. Yeah. So yes, Neo, I don't know if you were serious about the meme comp thing, but I would be extremely happy to see that. That would that would just be the funniest thing on just a compilation of me saying random things in my streams because I don't know what else to talk about. And making whatever this is. But, I'm trying here. I'm trying. So yeah, but before I start a stream, I'm like, yeah, I get to stream. I get to finally draw this idea that I've been, for some reason... Oh, you are serious? Okay, cool. Awesome. But, yeah, so I get so excited, like, yay, I've been waiting to draw this for some reason. Why? I don't know. I just feel the need to wait until I have an audience before I draw something good. Good? Good? I don't know. But, I try here. He needs dew claws. That's what I'm missing. Since he's feral, he needs dew claws. Dew. I don't know why they're called that. I should probably look it up. I should know that. I swear I've looked it up before. Don't know when. So, yeah. But I get all hype. Like, yay, I get to finally draw this drawing because I have free time and I can stream for an hour or two or whatever. Or more. Yes, dazzling. But then, I had to, like, hype myself up for it because I'm like, okay, you're gonna talk. What are you gonna talk about? Is this drawing even gonna work? What colors are you using? Do you know what you're doing? Or is this whole thing just gonna be a big experiment? Most of the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. And, I ask myself all these questions before I'm like, you know what, I got this, everything's fine, and then I continue to have everything be fine, I guess. But it's just so random. So, plus, I never know how loud y'all have your volume, or how loud the volume ends up being. I'm just trying to speak at what's actually louder than my normal tone of voice, because I normally talk pretty quiet. Or at least a lot of adults say I do. Is it too big of a claw? That's too big of a claw. So, yeah, basically. Basically. So, yeah. So I have to, like, ask myself all these questions of just, okay, what am I even trying to do today? What is my end goal? You know, what am I aiming for in this art stream? Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. So in this art stream, I'm like, what's my goal here? What am I attempting to do? And then I just have to attempt to do something and end up not really having a huge goal, because I always just get off track with, you know, silly drawings. Such as this. Are these claws working? Something seems off about this particular paw. This one was, like, okay, but I thought this one was gonna be better. Plan for what? Me talking about this face? Because I didn't plan for this face. This straight mouth here was an accident, and it became a meme. Honestly, Nia, I think you could get all your material for your meme comp in this one particular stream. I don't think you need any more. It's cool if you use more, but you could probably get a lot out of this one. I'm making these claws wider, I guess. Longer? Longer. You know, it's funny. Normally I don't do it too often around people, but, like, if I, like, get spooked, like, if I'm by myself or something, and, something's, like, out of the ordinary, or I get spooked, I just kind of say it in a sing-songy tone and acknowledge it aloud to myself. Like, these are... I can't claw today. I'm redoing them. Don't like it, so... I'm redoing this thing. This whole paw. I can't. There. So... I'm lazy too, man. I don't know. I think even if I just did the front half here... I was gonna do him standing too. I might just make him sit. Just cause... It'd go with this face a lot better. But, yeah, by the way, these are still the same character. At the moment. The main part is, this is just my art style part of it. I haven't even gotten to markings yet. Those are gonna change some stuff. You know what? When I do line art, I'm copying that stupid look on his face, and I'm keeping it as a separate layer in the line art. Just so that I have it. Okay, so I'm thinking like this. No, that's too much. This. There we go. That's better. That's better. I'm gonna attempt to stay more on on track here, on not progress. I can't think of the word. You know, whatever. On track. I'm gonna stay on track, or attempt to here. I may still get a little off topic. topic. That's what I was looking for. On topic. Yes. But, I may get a little off topic here, but, you know, I'm gonna try to be focused more on my art and explain what I'm doing. I'm taking so long on these claws. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I feel the need to color them in and make my sketches so detailed. I just do. Remember, Wingmaster, you still have 2 more paws to do, which means 10 more claws if you're counting these. Okay, so, yeah. There, that's it. I'm not doing any more with this, with these front paws here, other than, like, this, because I needed to do that. I should have done that before. So yes, the title of this stream is not all wrong. I said drawing, maybe animating. I haven't checked chat in a second. I don't know. I just haven't accepted the way that they look, so I've been taking longer on these claws. No, you're okay. So, you're the only person in chat right now, other than Jomyak, who, I know who you are, I know your real name, but I'm not gonna say it, even though that's pretty close. So, yeah, so it's fun though. I enjoy drawing. It's very nice. Very nice drawing here. His neck is so, like, outward. Just that. So, what do you say? Sitting or standing? I can probably get more of the design done if he was standing, which this is supposed to be for design, but I really want to make him just sit and just be kind of hunchbacked. You get the feet, like, here or something. Make him, like, kind of outward, like he's just chilling. This would be, like, stomach, and then the other leg would be, like, back here or something. I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Such bad posture you have. Look at this. Yes, so, very derp, yes. Oh my god, I haven't said the word derp in years. Good lord, I missed that word. Yes, very derp. Oh, I read it, and I was like, yeah, that's a word, and then I said it, and I was like, oh my god, it's been so long. Derp was probably my main vocabulary in grades 3 through 5, and now it's been years since I've said that word. I'm so pathetic. This character's pathetic, but since I'm the one who made him, I think I'm more pathetic here. What is on this layer? Oh, this thing, the circles. Yes. Here. I'm gonna make 2 roughish sketches. I mean, I guess I kind of want to make him stand, but I kind of want to make him, I really want to make him sit, but I feel like for design purposes, I really want to make him stand. Plus, the derp thing, yes, sitting works really well with the derp thing, but, wait, wait, if I, like, wait, is this that? Oh, I guess it is. Just the way you just it's like so yeah, so sitting works for his actual thing because he's gonna be really like you know, edgy, kind of done with life, but just in existence. Dang, that was a good eye. I'm keeping that. But like this. Not like angry, but just kind of depressed. So basically, I said earlier about like ruling over dark matter and like black holes and such. Basically, because of the way that he looks, he was pretty much born into his role. And he really didn't like it. He thought the whole thing playing, being loud, but yeah. So, that's a good question. I don't know what's better either. I don't know what to do for this eyebrow. I guess I kind of want it to be down, but up is like the kind of I'm done with this. So I guess like maybe like here, maybe. Maybe. Thank you. Thank you. I did keep the old ones. They're still here. The old eyes. Here, I'm gonna leave it there for now. No, I do the center line as if it was for the eyes. It's really not. It's just yeah. Yeah, I did that on purpose. So yeah, but basically, so Aku was born into his job of basically being the god of dark matter, and he really didn't like it. So he ends up just, pretty much forgetting that he exists in his, like, in of itself. He just kind of ignores his own existence and just carries on with life. Although sadly he is immortal unless killed, which most of my characters are pretty much immortals, but immortal. They're not invincible, they're just immortal, so they can be killed. To readjust this now, it's too tiny. Put it down. click on it, I think that's too much. Yes, very depressed boy. He does not like his job. Well, it's basically his lifelong job that he is forced to endure. Let's make sure. Yep, that beautiful face still lines up. Beautiful. Yes. So, yeah, basically, in a nutshell, I have no idea what I'm doing, and y'all are watching me be confused. And you know, that's quality content right there. That is some quality content right there. Just watching a furry be confused as she attempts to draw a character. So, this is what, hopefully, if I can get it right this time, this is what I intended. Nope, not that either. Okay, so, trying to get what I attempted to do originally. Here. Here, actually I'm going to redo that. Make it a little bit further out. No, it just looks like his mouth ends here. I mean, I haven't gotten too much done. But, you know, I've moved on from the paw. Dang it, now his snout looks too long. I cannot get this where I want it to be. Yeah, that's an improvement. That's still not what I wanted. Yeah, I can't get this right for the life of me. Here, let me just, that's the shape mouth I want. I just need it to, yeah, pretty much. Here, maybe I should just, like, make him sadder, you know? Oh, no. That just makes him look old. What the? No, why is it going with it? Stop it. No. This is not what I wanted to happen. Okay. So, yes, here we lie. Here we are. Nope, he doesn't need that yet. This beautiful face here. need to make sure that they still go. Oh, that's the wrong layer. Make sure that the important things stay true to their name. And that is the fact they are important. Yes, I'm spending that much time on this. True, but like immortals, they don't show physical age, I think. I think they just stop growing at some point. I mean, like, he is immortal, but I think at this point he's only like, I don't know. I don't worry, he's only a couple billion years old. He's still pretty young. I don't know how old he is. I can't really guess any of the ages of immortals. And Woodmaster, although she is pretty much immortal, she shows her age better. If I had to make a thing for her, that would explain every and all of her abilities, which would take years. Because when I created her, I'm like, yeah, she's all-powerful. She can do anything that she wants, because she's a magical wolf. Because why not? There, I'm just going to take off the head here so that I can just work on the body. But, anyway, so... But, yeah, so when I made Windmaster, she was like this all-powerful verse, because when you're in 3rd grade, that's just what you do. Yep, pretty much. The true stream name. Watch me as I look at my past and Deep Boy. Dirt Boy. I mean, Deep works too. I mean, if that face ain't a deep mood, I don't know. So, yes. So, back leg time. Deep derp thought. Yep, pretty much. That's another part of his new character, the semi-depressed one, not the derp one, is that because he's forgotten his existence, he forgets the fact that he does have some sort of weight to him. Or, I guess, mass, if he's out in space. Weight is only a figment of our imagination. But that's a fun topic. Want to talk about how much of our life is fake? Not like, not like stupid fake, like, oh, the government's controlling us or whatever. No, fake, like, colors don't exist. That kind of fake. Which they don't. Colors are a figment of our imagination and only exist because we think that they do. Otherwise, everything just has wavelengths that somehow turn into something in our eyes, but in reality do not exist. Nothing has color. Yep. And that's basically his mindset at all times, is what's the point of existing if nothing exists? So, he just kind of suffers. Our poor dirt boy has suffered through many excruciating years of existence. That's the thing too about immortals. I think though the only way that they can die is being killed, I don't think immortals are allowed to kill themselves. At least mine aren't. But that just seems like a rigged system almost. I mean, given they're immortal, the whole thing is already rigged. Yeah, that's something I think about all of the time. Because, colorblind people go to school and they're told red is red, blue's blue, green's green, yellow's yellow, blah blah blah. And they're like, okay, yeah, because that's the color that they see. But yet, how do you know maybe everyone's just a little colorblind, Or not blind, maybe everyone interprets color differently, but I guess, people can interpret who is colorblind. But, science, I don't know how the big science like that works, but, the little things I'd sometimes think about is, how would we know if all of our colors were just a little different from each other's? Or, even, good or bad vision is a thing, people with glasses or, any other thing to help people see. Here, I'm gonna put this derp face. Well, no, I guess, yeah. It can stay. But, you never know, really. It's gonna be hard to tell. Because, you can look at one thing and see it completely differently than anyone else in the world. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, too. Because, I look at things, and it's a color to me. It brings me back to those, kind of. It's been rigged a lot of times, but, you're not the dumb. But, what was it? Yeah, the gold, it was either gold and white, or blue or black dress. Y'all remember that? That was years ago. But there were similar optical illusions like that came out around a similar time like that. And, they were all, only one of them that I've seen actually worked. Yeah, what color is the dress? That one in particular, I will say, is fake for the most part. Why? Is because you can see side-to-side comparisons of the dress in, it's white and gold on one side. Yeah, the Yanny or Laurel, I can't even pronounce those names, but the Yanny or Laurel things too, you can, if it's audio, you can tell they're saying it differently, because I hear it both ways, and I've seen the dress both ways. However, there's only been one color illusion like the dress that I've seen that legitimately works. Yeah, that's a good one too. I'll repeat that one because, it's a text message. So, it's the same thing with language. What if I'm speaking something totally different to you, but to you I'm speaking the exact same thing? I doubt it, but if any of you have ever watched the show, The Good Place, it's a really good show. It is on Netflix still, I believe. It wouldn't, I think... I mean, it's not rated R, of course not, but it's not, I think it's like maybe PG-13, just because there's some more adult humor in it. But other than that, it's a really good show. It's really funny. So, but in the beginning, so basically they're all dead. They're all in, instead of like heaven or hell, it's good place or the bad place, and that's just what they're called. So, in the very beginning, there's like soulmates and stuff. So, one soulmate's talking to the other main two characters, and, one of them, who apparently just died, got there and was like, man, it's weird, everyone speaks the same language? And he's like, oh no, actually I'm speaking French, but since we're here in this good place, it always translates to the language that you understand. Which, just like you said, with the language thing, it's, it makes you wonder, like, okay, yes, we understand that there are different languages, we can hear different languages, like, French, Spanish, English, Latin, Japanese, Russian, whatever. The audio says one thing, but... Ooh. Now that's an interesting little mind game. That's cool. I haven't seen that. But, the flashy thing, that makes sense, though. Because, the natural rhythm that people have. But yeah, that makes sense. Man, yeah, so, but like, back to the good place thing. So, he's like, I'm speaking French right now, but it's gonna translate it to English so that you understand, because we're in the good place right now, because we're dead. But, so I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, what if there's other languages that are like, I doubt it, but it'd be cool, if there were other languages that we can't quite perceive or translate, but, and, maybe people don't speak it, and of course animals communicate in their own way, but like, thank you. I'm trying to think of a good example to explain what I'm thinking of right now. But, like, maybe... Okay, here's one. So, for instance, I saw a YouTube video once of this, like, tribe somewhere. I can't remember where it was from. Maybe, like, somewhere in India? Or just South America? I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. But, it was this kind of ancient, maybe not ancient, but this tribe who would speak this ancient language. Oh, hi, Simba. Simba just jumped down from my bed. Hello, how are you? You're still half asleep, aren't you? Yeah. But, so, yeah, but they're speaking this ancient language in cliques. So not like, not like I'm speaking right now, hello, how are you, words, lots of vocabulary, but it was just clicks, like, there'd be, I think they said, like, I forget how many different things that there were, but it all depends on pitch, similar to how cats work. I've heard some things where it's like cats only have maybe like 13 different kinds of meows, but based on the pitch, they can communicate different things. So, I think it's like that with the clicks, almost kind of like Morse code, but it's not Morse code, it's a separate language. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I'll have to find that video again. Yeah, kind of like Morse code, but not really, because there's no, you can't click your tongue against the roof of your mouth and make it drawn out, like in Morse code. You have to do like lines and dashes and dots for Morse code, but in this click language, you just kind of, you just kind of, but it's a whole language, that's just the coolest thing to me. And, I think back to the time when, in elementary school or whatever, when people would just be sitting at their desks, bored, and decide, hey, they grab a sheet of paper and they make up their own alphabet, or they make up their own language with their friends and such. And I'm just like, how do y'all do that off the top? And then they just start using that. I hear them use it. That doesn't happen too much anymore in middle school, but I remember the people that have done it, and that was always so interesting to me. And I made I've tried stuff like that, but I could never figure out how they just make it up off the bat. They get together with their friends, they're like, okay, we're gonna make this language out of one sound or one word. What do you want to do A through Z? They come up with an alphabet, just like maybe 10-15 minutes. Next thing you know, they got words going, they got phrases going, writing books or something, I don't know. But people, it's crazy to me how people just think of things that quickly, which sounds kind of weird when I say it like that, but it's very interesting to me. But and I'm sure the clicking thing was, as an more ancient language, it was, probably developed over a long period of time. But, something like that is the kind of thing that people could just make up nowadays, and that could be their little language. I'd see people, just talking together, chatting together. I remember what's the word? I think it was French fry, because I got in on it, and I drew a French fry. Maybe it was like potato, but they took one word, either like French fry or potato or something, and they just changed the pitch, changed the way that they said the word potato, like potato, or like, potato. It sounds stupid, but it was the most fun thing. But I was about to say it was the funnest thing. Don't think that's a word. This drawing is turning out good. I've just made this leg when I'm just talking. I haven't even been conscious in making this leg since I've been working on these claws. I don't know how that happened. But I see stuff like that, and it's just very interesting to me. How people just think. How dare they just think of things? Give me your wisdom. Give me your knowledge. But, I got in on it, and I now remember drawing, like, a French fry as a person. So I think it was French fry. But, for anyone who doesn't know me, IRL, if you can't tell, I live in America. In 3rd grade, we made jokes about French fries and potatoes and such. So, yeah, I was gonna make them sitting, but, sitting would be absolutely amazing, and I might do that next, but I really wanted to do the standing thing. So, anyway, yeah, but they made this language off the bat, during their focus time, which I don't know if everyone around the world knows what focus is. I don't know if other schools do it. When I was in 6th grade, the entire year of 6th grade, except for maybe the last month or two, I had no idea what what our block schedule meant. We'd come into a class, and, I'm very dumb. This just proves how dumb I am. I don't know how I got into the school that I'm in, because I am very stupid when it comes to simple things. Now, I'm a fast learner, and I can learn to understand complex things, but Otherwise, I look at things that I didn't know in the past, and I'm like, how dumb was I? and I'm still dumb because I make stuff like this. So, but you know, it's interesting, and you know, it's very strange. I'm a very strange person. But so we had, you know, in middle school we've had block scheduling, which is you have A days and B days, and then, you know, you got like, sometimes they used to call it half days, or days that our schedule would get weird. We used to call it C days, and those really got to my brain. I didn't know what they were talking about when, you know, they're like, hey, tomorrow's gonna be a C day, and I'm like, a what? What is a C day? They only use that name like 4 times, and then they're like, no, let's not do that. So, but it was very interesting. But yeah, so in the beginning of 6th grade, up until the last like month or two, I had no idea when we would go into class, and the teacher would say, okay, put down the block, you know, write your name, write the date, write the block. And I'm like, what is a block? It never dawned on me that we were in block scheduling. And regardless, even if it did, I would have no idea what class block I was in. So, like, maybe halfway through the class, I'd lean over to my friend or something, and I'd be like, what do I put in this category? They're like, you put the class. I'm like, what do you mean class? Yours has a bunch of letters and numbers on it. Yeah, the class that we're in. I'm like, you want me to write math on the paper? Like, I'm pretty sure our math teacher knows that we're in math and that she's grading our math work. No, it's A12 or like A56 because it's the A day and it's bells 1 and 2 or 5 and 6 or whatever number it is. And it took me forever to understand what that meant until like the end of the year, and I was like, oh, I'm stupid. And now I look back on it. What language is that? Neo, what language is that? Because it's not French. I know French. Is it French? I don't think it's French. What does that say? Don't make me pull out Google Translate on you. Oh, okay. Made up, like, that makes sense. Yeah, homeroom too. Yeah, they said homeroom, and I'm like, what is homeroom? Because in 6th grade, no, it's not dumb. It's not dumb. Oh, that's a good question. I mostly just copied whatever the people around me said. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, so I basically just copied whatever the people around me had on their paper because I had no idea what block meant. And I didn't know. So either I'd leave it blank, and since it's just the block, the teacher doesn't really care. They care about names and dates. So occasionally I'd leave it blank, but after a while I just started writing whatever other people had on their papers. And then like maybe 1 or 2 months before the year ended, I realized it, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. and just the fact that I was being dumb. Yeah, I like this face. Here, let me just, here, I need to copy and on its own layer now. So, I like this face. I'm gonna redo it. It's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted to go for with this. But, yep. See, I'm gonna redo this face, which means I'm gonna have to redo this face because it's not gonna fit. But, yeah. So, that's my stupid, funny story of how I didn't know what block meant in my third of middle school. So, so, you know, I tried, you know, I got through it. And here I am today, in my room. I've been in my pajamas all day, going to my virtual school in the middle of a pandemic, and now I'm drawing whatever this is. So, isn't that fun? Yeah. So I think here I can. I'm gonna get rid of these. You were no longer any use to me. These 4 circles. So, you know, my life has been interesting. Oh my god, that was... Ooh, I had anxiety the entire year because of that. Okay, so, because this is the internet, and in the very, 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 very small chance that my 6th grade social studies teacher is actually watching this stream, which I don't think she'd even really care, and I highly doubt it, but, you know, just in case, I'm gonna make up a name, also for privacy reasons. So, let's see, Mrs. Hates Children. No, maybe like, I don't know, Sunfall, give me a name that isn't her real name. Actually, I'm gonna keep that. So, I need a name for this hilarious story now. Actually, it's not. It might be funny to y'all, but it's... Yeah, I guess, yeah, that works. Mrs. Social Studies teacher. So, Miss Social Studies teacher was a very interesting teacher from the very first day. One being the first day that we came into her class, we all sat down, and what we figured out, yeah, Mrs. Lady. So we all sat down and figured out what our seats were. We sat down and we were all just quiet because I think a majority of us could already tell that this... Yeah, Miss Teacher, that works. Yeah, Miss Teacher's just gonna be easier. I'm just gonna use, yeah, Miss Teacher. So, I have so much anxiety the entire year because of this one story. Oh my god. So, okay. Yeah, so, in 6th grade, when I was in 6th grade, I got my Chromebook, and, you know, I've always kind of had my own little personal diagnosis, my diagnosis of anxiety. I definitely don't have anxiety, like, bad, but I do have stupid stuff, mostly because I'm Gen Z, and, you know, Gen Z has anxiety about asking for ketchup packets and calling the pizza guy, so, but, you know, yeah, so, Anyway, but I've had this little anxiety of things, so whenever I had, like, a problem with my computer, or my Chromebook or whatever, I just kind of ignore it and think that it would get better. And that was the wrong thing to do. Don't do that. A, because it's gonna make your life a lot harder, and B, because you can have stories like what I'm about to tell you happen, where you just can't own up to anything. So, yes, we all fear the pizza guy. I only watch TikTok through, yeah, that's basically Gen Z in a nutshell. So, I only watch TikTok through YouTube, but, that's too much. But, you know, when I do, it's either stupid memes or furry memes. I don't watch the dances, because I think that they're all stupid. I mean, I'm stupid, so, you know, I can't say, I don't have much to say on that. But, you know, whatever. I watch memes and furry memes and more memes. That's all I do with my life anymore. So, you know, I'm, what was I getting at? Why did I say TikTok? Oh, yeah. So, if you've seen, not Too Deep and Snooty, one of them, they got the tiny little hands that they have on their finger. I forget what their thing was called, but regardless, they had a thing where they were acting as their mom and them as, like, a child, and she's like, hey mom, I'm hungry, can we get some food? She's like, yeah, we can. I'm kind of feeling pizza. You want some pizza? Yeah, pizza's fine. She's like, oh, cool, really? Alright. So her mom hands her the phone, and she's like, what are you doing? Because you're old enough. You call... Yeah, call me Chris. Yes, call me Chris. Yes. Oh my god. That's it. So, yeah. So, she's like, wait, you what now? Why are you giving me this? It's like, oh, you're old enough. You call the pizza guy. And she's like, So she sits right there, like, what size pizzas are there? And, like, just all the questions that run through your head when you're trying to order a pizza. You're like, what kind of pizzas are there? What toppings are there? What is a pizza anymore? And she goes through, like, every possible question, and then her mom comes back in there, and she's like, so, when's the pizza gonna be here? And she's like, I couldn't do it! And the mom's just like, oh my god, you're so pathetic. So, you know, that's basically me in a nutshell, is I can't do things because anxiety. And my mom, she's... I love my mom so much, but, you know, she's, like, if I remember going into, like, a Taco Bell once with her, and there's a drive-thru though, so, you know, you kind of get your food and get out. So, she, you know, we go through the drive-thru, get our food, come back, and it's like missing a sauce packet or something, no, I had a burrito. I had a shredded chicken burrito, and they didn't shred the chicken. It was just in chunks rather than in shreds. And, you know, that's okay. You know, chicken's chicken. It still tastes the same. The only difference is texture, and it's a very small difference in texture. So, you know, I didn't really care. I didn't care. You know, I can obviously easily live without shredded chicken instead of chunky chicken. So I just ate my burrito happily, and, you know, just because I talk to my mom, I'm like, hey, haha, isn't that funny? They put chunky chicken instead of shredded chicken. And she's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, let's go back to the drive-thru. You know, we can ask them. I mean, not like Karen asked them. Not like, hey, how dare you get my order wrong? But just like, you know, can we get another one? And, you know, I'm like, no, we don't have to do that. This is fine. And she insisted that we go back through the drive-thru and get them to, like, to fix the order or something. And I'm just like, we don't need to do that, though. You know, to me it's just like, oh, you know, they got customers, they don't want to have the same person in line twice, you know, they're just gonna feel bad. Yeah, pretty much. So, you know, I don't remember if we ended up going back there or not, but regardless, you know, it was fine. I just was kind of anxiety. So, yes, back to the main story though. Anyways, that's me showing that I have this weird Gen Z anxiety. But, so Mrs. Teacher here, you know, you will walk into the class, find our seats, and we can all kind of tell, you know, this is going to be that teacher, you know, the one that doesn't like children for some reason. Which, you know, just quick little side rant. I don't know why you're going to be a teacher if you don't enjoy teaching, or more so, enjoy teaching children, because children at school are going to be dumb, because that's why they're there. So, and, you know, I've had several teachers in my life that are all kind of, not all, but, you know, I guess burnout. But, you know, burnout's different, I think, when it's every single day. From first day to last day of the year. And this was no semester thing. This was first day of school this year. Like, she just had all summer off with the rest of us. So, yeah. So anyway, you know, we sit in class, first day of school, and first thing that she says is everyone of confusion and anxiety and fear and just this combination of emotions just spread through the classroom because the teacher has said this really weird line of everyone, hey, take your shoes off. Didn't give a reason. Didn't say, hi, welcome to the class. How are you today? Welcome to school. Wakey, wakey, it's time for school. But, you know, no greeting, just take off your shoes. So we're all so confused. Like, what is happening right now? And, you know, as, you know, brand new teenage people who are smelly and don't want to take off our shoes, we all just kind of sat there in silence, like, okay, she has to be joking, right? There's no way this woman actually wants us to take off our shoes. True, they gotta, like, do lesson plans and stuff during the summer. That is true. But, you know, like, so she sits right there. Take off your shoes. So after maybe, like, 5 minutes of awkward silence and confusion, and, you know, her pushing us to take off our shoes, we take off our shoes, and we put them in a circle, because this is what she told us to do. We put them in a circle around her, and I'm like, what kind of demon ritual is this? And apparently it was supposed to be, I don't know. It was supposed to be like an icebreaker kind of game, like get to know each other. But it was so awkward, no one had fun. I don't think anyone had fun. It was, I forget the exact point of the game, but, you know, we'd go around Yeah, shoe queen. I don't know, but she was surrounded by these smelly middle schooler shoes, and we were all very confused as to what was happening. I think it was something like she ended up, like, we'd pick one and then have to, like, guess whose shoes it was or something stupid. I don't know, it was really weird. But there was that, so I'm gonna be telling a few stories from this teacher. This was a lot. But, you know, so, yeah, no one appreciated it. We were all very concerned, nonetheless. To say the least, we were all very, very concerned. So, you know, we did the shoe thing, did whatever, I don't know, and how did that end up? I forget how that ended up, but regardless, it was just really weird. So, ooh, now, that's something. I'll save that story for later. Somehow, I know you're watching this. If you remember what almost broke out at that Shakespearean roast battle in 7th grade, ooh. I about killed a man. So, yeah, I'll save that story, but, yeah, so back to Miss Very Strange Teacher. Yeah, you remember that one? You remember that one? They didn't even roast me, they roasted you, Sunbeam. Or, Sunpaw, I'm sorry. It was Sunbeam for a while. No, maybe not. Sunpaw, I'm sorry, I'm confusing. Yeah, they didn't even roast me. They roasted you. But there was a word in there, or a word or two in there, that were just, it made me livid. And I was like, no, you don't say that to my friend. No. It wasn't really harmless either. I mean, it was pretty harmless. It wasn't harmful. But yet, it was the specific word that had another impact on my, I don't know. I'll get to it. Anyways, Mrs. Teacher, this is, how long has this been going on? How long is this stream right now? I gotta refresh it. Oh my god, it's been 2 hours of me, and this is all I've made, is this stupid sketch. Yeah, it's okay. This is probably my favorite stream that I've done so far. So, Miss Teacher, sometime in the middle of the year, no, I have my SOL on Monday, because I'm option 2. Wait, what story? What do you mean? The Shakespearean battle one, or some other thing? I don't know. Anyway, so, Miss Teacher, just for y'all to get a idea of my class's relationship with Miss Teacher, you know, we ended up, you know, one day, something was happening, and we were just, like, talking. Yeah, the battle thing. So, yeah, we were just, you know, kind of talking, being students. We thought maybe by this time of year she'd be more chill. Foreshadowing, she was not chill. I don't know what I'm doing with this tail here. But, Oh, yeah. So, just for y'all to get an idea, Miss Teacher was not fond of children, and I'm not saying that just because she didn't act like it. No, she legitimately said to our faces. Yeah, chill's the wrong word, but she actually said to our faces, and I quote, maybe not quote because I don't remember exactly, but pretty dang close, when we were just talking. I guess she was having a bad day. Every day was a bad day for her, I guess, but she legitimately said to her students in class during, like, the middle of class or something. Maybe it was the beginning, we were talking. We don't do that in her class normally, so, but she said to our faces, does it look like I want to be here right now teaching all you stupid kids, basically is what she said. So, at this point, I'm just kind of awestruck, like, you're a teacher. Your job is to teach kids that are stupid. Oh, yes. So this is, that'll be another story, after this sunfall, but, basically, she legitimately said to us that she didn't like children, which didn't make any sense to me, because if you're gonna be a teacher, yeah, but, if you're gonna be a teacher, you probably wanna like kids, and you gotta accept the fact that they're gonna be dumb, because that's why they're in school, because we are born Einstein here, so, that was the thing. But, so, that's just a slight idea of the relationship that our classroom had. Yep, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, but, so, yeah. But anyway, I'm afraid of this teacher. I was very concerned for, how this year was going to end out. Maybe she'd just fail everyone out of sheer hatred, because apparently that's just what she did. She didn't fail everyone, though. we passed the class. But, I was kind of worried that that was just the kind of thing I thought she might do. So, regardless, the main story here is the time that I messed up. So, remember me talking earlier about how I would be too anxiety-ridden to fix a problem on my Chromebook? Yeah, that was the cause of this problem. So, we were on a shared Google Doc for writing notes or something. For some reason, she shared it with the whole class. And, I don't know why that happened. I don't know what the project was. Oof. Yeah. So, my Chromebook, some of the keys wouldn't work. And there would be times where it wasn't like sticky keys. I would press them. They would move just as easy as any of the other regular keys on my keyboard. But, like, I think it was, like, I and maybe E, maybe I and C, or I don't know. But there was a few keys on my keyboard that just wouldn't work. It was like 2 or 3 keys that would never work. And occasionally, very rarely, luckily this never happened while I was in school, but if I was, like, doing the homework at home, sometimes the entire keyboard would stop working for, like, a minute, and it just wouldn't register anything that I typed. I was like, crap, this probably isn't good. But at the time, it wasn't as serious until we reached, like, a really big test. It wasn't quite SOLs yet, but then, you know, we reached a pretty big testing point of my social studies thing, and I had to go up because my computer decided to not work. And I'm like, hey, as much as I'd love to do this test right now, which, sarcasm, I always hated social studies. I'm like, hey, as much as I, you know, want to do this test right now, my computer's not working. So I went up, you know, in the middle of everyone else's testing, I went up to the technology person who was also kind of not liking children. And I'm like, hey, my computer does this thing where some of the keys don't work, and right now I kind of need those keys to do to do my test. And she's like, okay, well, how long has this been going on? I'm like, a while. Maybe like 2 weeks or so at that point. And she's like, oh, well, why didn't you come to fix it before? I'm like, it wasn't a big problem before, but now I gotta do a test and now it's a problem. So, yeah, that was kind of embarrassing, but, you know, she let me have a substitute computer, like, while they got that one fixed. And, you know, like, the next day or something, I had it back and it was fixed. So, yeah, and the death glare, too. You don't mess with that computer, girl. She don't, she don't play. She has a death stare. So did Mrs. Teacher, you know? Miss Social Studies teacher. They all had this death glare of, you know, pure hatred. I think I'm gonna give it a minute until I do the rest of this sketch. So, you know, yeah, that was nice of her. So, yeah, yeah, the Chromebooks are weird. Yeah, there were so many rules, too, and I still have the exact same Chromebook. It's sitting right beside me as I'm drawing this. My phone is sitting on this exact same Chromebook that's in this story. Because I don't think that they changed it. Like, over, like, summers or stuff. So, I know! Like, they had people that come around and clean them for you, and they're, like, sitting out there to clean them, and yet they're like, oh my god, how did this get so dirty? It's like, because I'm a child, and things get dirty. And they get so mad, like, how dare you smudge the screen of the Chromebook? I'm like, it's an electronic device. I gotta touch it for it to work. So, anyway, but, yeah, so but before this big test thing came, where I ended up getting my Chromebook fixed, we were on this giant shared Google Doc. Hi, Simba. I see you've come back. So, meow. Here, if I can get her closer. Say something. What do you have to say for the stream? Very nice, thank you. So, oh my god, yes, we named our Chromebooks too. I think I named mine Smitty Werman Jaegerman Jensen. Just because it was 6th grade and I didn't treat it like a child. They said, yep, yeah, real Jaden energy here. But, no, don't bite my iPad, please. Thank you. So, yeah. So, we were on this giant shared Google Doc thing, and I was testing my keyboard to see if it was working. So, just as a small, simple word to test if my keys were working, instead of doing like, you know, just whatever, banging the keyboard or whatever, instead I just, yeah, we could. Not could, we had to. It was a requirement. You know why? Because they're like, treat your Chromebook like it's a child. I know, Simba, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not constantly petting you. I'm trying to talk and pay attention. I'm very sorry. So, you know. Yeah, it was a requirement. We had to name them because they had to be treated like children. Otherwise, you know, they wouldn't trust us with our Chromebooks unless we named it. And I was like, this is dumb. So I named it Smitty Werpen Jaegerman Jensen. And, yeah. So, but we had this shared Google Doc. So in the, like, everyone was just being random. People were changing the text sizes and, you know, like writing their names in places and stuff. And I had the most unlucky spell of unluckiness, and someone changed the font size to the biggest it could possibly go right beside my cursor. And to test my keyboard, I wrote hi, H-I, that's it. And then backspaced it immediately. Just to test. Well, yeah, I mean, they had numbers. We didn't write the names anywhere on our Chromebooks. But, you know, we had to name them to get, like, a personal connection with them or something, because school's weird. But, you know, so I wrote H-I and then immediately backspaced it once I realized just how huge it took up on the paper. And I was so embarrassed. And you know, they can see who writes it, because if you're in a shared Google Doc, then your name will show up beside your cursor. So I deleted it and, like, moved my cursor and my little text thing, like, halfway across the screen, and looked over at the teacher, and she was just glaring. Not at me, but at the class as a whole. At the class as a whole. And said, who wrote that? And I'm thinking, oh crap. Because I knew that this was, like, a really serious teacher. And that she didn't want any nonsense. We were supposed to write our names on something. Yeah. But, like, we were supposed to write our names on it to, like, since it was a shared Google Doc or something. But someone changed the text size right as I was typing, and I don't know how that happened. I had nothing to do with the text size. I know. And I think somehow, I think I glanced over at you too, like, oh crap, I did that. And, yeah, and she was just glaring at the whole class, like, who did that? And I stayed completely still and completely silent, because I was so terrified. I'm like, oh my god. If she... Yeah, I don't even think that you noticed it at first until she glared at the class. But, oh my god, it was so... I was scared for my life, man. I didn't know what she was gonna do. I don't know if anyone else saw that I did it. Yeah, that too. And I told you, like, months later, too, actually. Because I was so scared. Like, even you, like, my best friend at the time, I was scared that someone was gonna tell on me. or that, like, maybe someone would overhear me telling it to you. So I waited until a good enough time until I thought that, like, everyone would forget about it. Somehow you still remembered that. But, oh my god. So I was trapped in my seat, just mortified by what this teacher might do if anyone saw that I had done that. And I was just like, oh no. And everything. My life was flashing in front of my eyes, man. I didn't know. And I was, it was terrible. So no one saw it was me, though, because no one thought about it until after she scolded us for it. Yeah. So I don't think anyone realized, like, and acknowledged it until after she was talking about it. And then everyone was staring around the room saying, oh, well, it wasn't me. And I'm just over here in the corner, completely silent. I didn't even want to say that it wasn't me, because if someone saw that, then they would know that I'm lying, then it's worse. So I just sat there in utter silence, acting like I was confused, like, oh, who did that? And I was so terrified, and I was terrified for the rest of the year, and I still am. I fear this teacher, man. And, like I said, months later, I told, one of my best friends, Sunpaw, and I was like, oh my god, you remember that thing in social studies where someone wrote hi on the shared Google Doc? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, that was me. I didn't mean to do it. And I tried to explain it. I was like, I'm still, months later, still terrified that somehow you would tell her. I don't know why I would think that, but I just did. And I was so scared. I'm like, I didn't do it on purpose, please don't tell. And I didn't know what to do. So I just sat there. just scared. So yeah, I did. She was terrifying to me. And, like, you know, I see kids too who were like social studies nerds, and they're like, oh, she was great. I loved that teacher. She was great. And I'm like, how could you do that? Yeah, our school's a little different than some schools, which is another thing my anxiety is not allowing me to say even now, but I'll try. I'm in a gifted school, and I feel bad saying that, because saying, oh, I'm in a gifted school, it sounds like, oh no. Paul, no. Why did you have to say that? I had just cleared that memory from my mind like a year ago. Oh my god. I still don't know where it is. I still don't. Oh my god. I have so many stories to share right now. So, wait. Which teacher? Neo. No, you're fine, Deegan. I mean, Sunball. Sorry. Yeah, pretty much. So, you know, I don't like saying that I'm in a gifted school because it feels like a normal school to me. No, you're fine. But it, you know, it just, yeah. Anyway, so, we do a lot of things differently, because we learn things at a faster pace. Basically, as of right now, I'm in 8th grade, and I'm, like, high school / college level math or something. I don't know what my teacher said last year. Oh, wait. Wait, if you're looking for the social studies, what do you mean update her? Like, figure out who she is for yourself, or like tell her these stories? Don't do that. But so yeah. Anyway, at the very last day of school, I was so full of guilt from writing hi on this shared Google Doc months and months ago from the time that I ended up telling her. No, I did. So, very last day of school, I went up to her and I'm like, Miss Teacher, and she's like, yes. Because, you know, last day of school, she's happy. Not the rest of the year. But, so, you know, very last day of school, I'm like, Miss Teacher. Now, if you want to know just out of curiosity, Neo, I can tell you in, Discord later, but, like, don't remind her of this story. I'm really hoping that she's just forgotten. But anyway, so at the very last day, I told her, and I was like, you know that thing where, someone wrote hi in the chat, and in the Google Doc, and she's like, she took a minute. She's like, oh yeah, that, I remember that, and I was like, I did it. And she's like, huh? I'm like, I wrote hi in the, I didn't do it on purpose, and I just started freaking out. Like, I didn't do it on purpose, my Chromebook was having issues, and then you saw later when I did the test thing, and it all just started spilling out all at once, and she's like, no, you're fine, and I'm like, but it's not, though. So, that was an experience. So, you know, maybe 2 years later, maybe she's forgotten, but, you know, yeah. But I was very, very, very scared, but, you know, yeah. Let's see, what was my, let's see, I want to do other stories, but I want to wrap them up faster, so, yeah, we do. Let's see, what was that? Yeah, that was that. So, yeah. So, let's see. No, I'm trying to look through, these text messages and see what other stories. What was the battle thing? I'm forgetting now. Oh yeah, the Shakespearean battle. So, yes, that was in English, 7th grade. Yeah. So, in English, 7th grade, we were learning about Shakespeare, learning some smart old guy words. So, we had, obviously, at the end of the year, we had to have a Shakespearean roast battle where we'd take Shakespearean slang and roast each other with it. And, you know, I've noticed, especially since this day in particular, or the story of the day in particular that I'm telling you about, that there's, yeah, I didn't want to move on either. That was just sad. But the fact that, you ended up against, I'm surprised that I lost that one, but that's only because I was up against a popular kid, which is another thing. Popularity really ruined that whole day for everyone, because if you weren't popular, then you weren't moving on, because everyone would always, vote the popular kid as the winner and not the kid who actually had a good roast. So, yeah, so that was interesting. But I didn't move up because of that. I was voted out because I was the class furry and no one liked me. So, yeah, there's that one. But, yeah. So, I'm sitting beside Sunpaw here because we're friends, and, I go up, I do mine, they end up voting the popular kid as the winner, so I lose, and I go sit back down. I'm like, you know what, that's fine, but I really should have won that. I had a better roast. And I think most of the people would agree, but they're not gonna agree. So, I'm trying to work. I really am. I just can't right now. So, this is more fun telling stories. I would have made all these into YouTube videos in the future, which I still might do. But, I'm having fun with this. So, let's see, hold on, get that at 90, put this at 90, I'm just gonna try and get all my layers correct here. I don't know what this layer's for. Get this one at 9, no, 8, 90, just to, make sure that they're all in the same kind of size ratio, because I have to redraw the head here. So, yeah. So, anyway, but Sunpaw goes up, and am I? Wait, what did I get wrong? I don't know. But basically, from what I remember, I knew that I went up first. Oh, yeah, we did go against each other. That's right. I thought I was up against someone else. That's right, yeah. So we ended up going up against each other. Did we ask to do that, or did people just make us do that because they knew that we were friends? I really didn't want to roast you either, so I had trouble with that. Because, if I was going against anyone else in that classroom, I would have just lit them up. But with you, I was like, cute, funny scoundrel? Question mark? Yeah, she made us go against each other, I guess. So, yeah, that's not at all what it was for me, but, it was just, I didn't know what to do. Yeah, I didn't want to roast you, so I could have done better, but I just didn't. Regardless, I think I still might have done better. I don't know. Anyway, so you had to move up, and you ended up going against someone else. And this person, I knew already, had been a jerk to me in the future, so I'm like, oh god, why does she have to go up against him? And, at first I'm like, okay, they're just harmless little... Yeah. But yeah, so at first I was like, they're just harmless little roasts, none of them mean anything, until I started, looking down the list, and I was like, man, none of these are too harmful, but if you put them together in the wrong context, these can be pretty mean. So, here, I haven't written chat, hold on. Yes, so, I lost just because, yeah, pretty much popularity contests. So, yeah, so I'm thinking, yeah, they're kind of harmless, but in the wrong context, they could be worse. And, like, I guess it'll be fine. No, whoever decided to put whoever they did up against Paul, let's just say they used the wrong combination for me to listen to. Based on past experiences in my life, there are certain words that hurt me more than others. It's not a horrible thing, but there's certain words that I notice and get more angry at. Whether they're directed at me or not, it makes me upset that other people have to endure that word. And they're, not like curse words, but, just as an example, because I'm not directing it at anyone, it doesn't matter for me right now, but, like, yeah, not curse words, but, just other things, like, maybe, well, for one, belong, like, in context, like, you don't belong kind of thing going on, Yeah. So, that kind of thing, I guess. And then there's other things like, useless as in useless person. You can't, personally, A, it's just rude, but B, you never should ever bring up the fact, oh, you shouldn't have been born. And whoever this jerk was that decided, that the class decided, or teacher, whoever decided, labels and insults. But, so whoever the class or teacher or whoever decided to put Paul up against was not okay for me. As the protective friend, or at least I think that I kind of am sometimes. I just, I didn't like it. And I ended up, they said something to the effect of, and I don't remember the exact words because, yeah. So, I don't remember the exact words, but something along the lines of, saying it jokingly because this is in school and it's a roast battle, not legitimately trying to insult someone, but the way, yeah, just the way that it all ended up, that's the lowest thing. I'm surprised that they let that be in this roast battle. So, telling you right now, it was. And, so I'm just kind of sitting over here like, it should hopefully be fine, and it wasn't, so, yeah, anyway, so something along the lines of, stupid, don't belong, should have never been born. Basically, all of these words that trigger me, or trigger my anger, or whatever. Sorry, voice crack. But, pretty much all the words, yay. But, pretty much all the words that would bother me, normally, were put into this one insult, or roast, quote-unquote roast. It became more of an insult at this point, and I did not appreciate it. So, pretty much everything that I've talked about that bothers me was put into this one roast. And not against me, because I can pick my own fights, but this was against my friend, and that's another story. So, being the protective one that I am. I basically was so caught up in the fact of how on earth did you just have the audacity to say something like that? Like that, it wasn't even funny anymore to me. It wasn't even funny. It wasn't a game. It was just, how dare you? Kind of, and I'm making a joke out of it now because, content, and I don't want to sound like I have anger issues, because I don't, but, they basically took everything that I don't like, put it into one sentence, and put it up against one of, my best friend at the time. You're still my best friend, but I have a lot of best friends, but best friends, I can't speak. But, so, they tied it all together in one, and I was so livid, I forgot that I was in school, and I forgot that this wasn't the internet, not even reality anymore. I forgot that I can't just do things to people, if you're playing an Among Us game, you get mad, you can tell someone that they're dumb because, they're... Yeah, I kind of wish that he would have went first, too, so that could have happened. But, Sunpaul was the one to go first for this, so I don't think anyone really knew what was going to happen. Of course, the rest of the class loved it, because they're like, oh, yeah, big roast time, it's funny. It's really not. But, yeah. Yeah, I can't beat them up, and I can't curse, because I'm in school, and, I try not to curse in general, unless someone's being, a really bad person. Like, if you're being, racist, or sexist, or any other ist that's bad, I'm gonna try my best to teach you a lesson and tell you that it's bad and that you really shouldn't do that. And if you don't listen, then I'm just gonna get more mad. That's another story. How I figured out what a furry was. I hissed at someone because they were just being a jerk. And they're like, oh no, it's a furry. And I'm like, what's a furry? So I looked it up. And now a furry. But, so, yeah, anyway, they put all of my anger into one. I forgot that I was in school for a split second until I caught myself, but I stood up so fast that this, whatever metal and plastic chair that the schools have ended up, shoving away. Yeah, pretty much. So, I pretty much shoved away this chair. It, or at least this is what I think happened. I don't know. It probably didn't. But just the sheer anger that I was in, I don't know what happened. But, I got up and said, okay, these were my words. Kind of cringe, but, yeah. Kind of cringe, but, my exact words are kind of laughing, but, I am going to kill you kind of laugh. Oh, that kind of thing. So, I ended up doing one of those things, and I was like, there's about to be a real fight. Stood up, really, really fast, just in pure anger. Well, no, I didn't cuss. I wanted to. Yeah, that does miss the point. But, you shouldn't, it shouldn't, A, the teacher should keep people from saying that, and B, it really shouldn't be on a worksheet that everyone's saying and looking at and repeating. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, so, basically, I got up and, just got all roosted up, I am going to kill you because you said that. To my friend. And, I'm just sitting there, and at just for a split second, you know, people are still laughing and, you know, apparently having fun. Funny, but, you know, I don't. So, you know, people are still laughing for a second, and then they're like, wait, you're serious? And, yeah, something like that. But, at this point, I don't think it even matters what the phrase was. The point is, it didn't need to be said, and it was too much, I think. It was just, yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, me too. Working with them on projects, and you just hate them so much. That's like the worst. That's just the worst thing. And that's happened to me a lot with, you know, getting forced into groups with people that you hate, and the teacher's like, oh, maybe if you worked with them more, you wouldn't hate them as much. Yeah, true. There shouldn't be a roast contest to begin with. That's true. That is very, very true. But, you know, a teacher hosted too. Yeah, it's all messed up. So, you know, regardless, everyone for a second thought it was funny, and then they looked at me, realized I was serious, and then they all just kind of looked at me for a second until I got too anxiety-filled and sat back down. But, you know, for a second there, I would have literally slapped him across the face out of sheer hatred. Yes, commit arson upon them. Yes. Yeah, it was fun when it wasn't serious. It was really funny at first. It was super duper funny, yeah. But people got too extreme, and no, it didn't turn out well. But we continued in the next day, too. I think it lasted for like 2 days. Oh, that was the idiot child, yeah. I think, unless I'm thinking of a different one, but, you know, yeah. So anyway, you know, stuff like that got way too out of hand, and they continued, but the teacher, they just looked at me for a second like, hey, it's just a thing, calm down, and I'm like, did you not hear what he just said? Like, do you not, you know, I don't want to, you know, be caring about things like, oh, that's offensive, you know, but this time, yeah, it was legitimately rude. So, you know, I got to the point where I was like, I ain't participating in this anymore. So I just kind of crouched down in my seat and just, you know, sat there angrily. So, yeah, that was how that day went. Oh, his face, man. So, you know, that was how that one went. That was the roast battle. And, yeah, didn't go well. Let's see, next stories, because I'm actually gonna try and, draw this time. So, let's see. Yes, evil math teacher. Yeah, the face. So, evil math teacher, very similar to evil social studies teacher, but not as bad in my opinion. She was worse for some people, but, you know, I've never been good with social studies, and I've always been pretty good with math, so I think ended up being a little bit different for me with, you know, my relationship with her versus others, which I guess I can kind of understand the thing with the social studies teacher for that reason. But otherwise, I just, you know, it didn't make much sense to me. Here, I like this head on its own, but it doesn't go with the vibe that I wanted for this character, so I needed it to be long. Yeah, she was really bad for some people, but for me, it was more of a joke kind of thing. Oh yeah, the Fox Funds. Oh my god, that was too much. you know. So, but anyway, so math teacher, or I'll just say math teacher because, you know, she wasn't too entirely evil, other than just really unnecessarily rude at times. So, like, for one, she threatened to slap us with a wet noodle, which I didn't want to know what that even meant when I heard that phrase. Oh yeah, 8th grade math teacher. I know her by name, and I know her by face. She's gonna be worse. I'm kind of worried for when I go into math this year. But, yeah, so, anyway, yeah, so she threatened to slap us with a wet noodle, and I didn't even want to know what that meant. But, she ended up getting Teacher of the Year a few times, which confused me. But, confusion. But, yeah, so, anyways, math teacher threatened to slap us with a wet noodle, and I never understood what that meant. I know, oh my god, yeah, that day that she got Teacher of the Year, that was, like, the worst time that she said it, too. She sat right there, like, we were talking and stuff. Yeah. Wait, which one? Oh, yeah, that guy. We've had some really crummy substitute teachers. But, yeah. So, Connor, I don't think you were... I mean, I guess you were. Wait, were you... This was the Dolphin team. Were you on the Dolphin team? 6th grade? Were you... Yeah. But, so, yeah, anyways. But I never understood that, that threat, I guess. I guess it's a threat. But, you know, yeah, I'll send you a Discord message later with her name so that maybe you'll get it later. But for now, you can match the stories later then. Yeah, just the phrase wet noodle. I hear that now and I'm just like, yeah, that's that teacher. So, I'm thinking, okay, is that like a pool noodle? Because, like, a pool noodle can hurt sometimes if you hit someone with it hard enough. But, like, one day I was having spaghetti with my mom, and, you know, since I'm weird, I just like eating the noodles once they're cooked, but, like, without sauce or anything on them for spaghetti. So, she took... Yep, that's the one. Yeah. So I took, my mom got a wet spaghetti noodle, because, you know, it was cooked, but it was, like, she just strained it from the pot. So, you know, it was still kind of wet, and she came up to me, because I was sitting on the couch, but the couch was kind of, like, in the middle of the room with, with the, like, in between the living room and the kitchen kind of thing. Yeah. So, she was trying to, like, she got behind the couch. I was sitting on the couch, and then she took the spaghetti noodle and, like, swung it over the couch, and, like, it slapped onto my face, and I'm like, oh, that's what she meant. And my mom's just like, what? Because it was so out of context. of me not even, like, flinching, just realizing, oh, that's what it meant. Maybe it wasn't, but that's the closest I've gotten, is being slapped in the face with a spaghetti noodle. And that's just the best I have for that. And, you know, and so my mom was so confused, so I had to explain this whole story of how she would threaten to slap people with a wet noodle. And she's like, I guess that makes sense. But, you know, the day that she got Teacher of the Year, too, she actually said it, that was, like, the day that it was almost the worst. It was weird. Because she's like, you know, she was trying to say it. Yeah. We talk a lot during PE. I think, yeah, at the time, that was, like, the only class that we, other than, like, French, that we had together to, like, talk in English. Talk in our regular language. But, yeah. So, anyway, it was so weird. I had to explain that to my mom, which was a weird story to explain. But, yeah, so the day that she got, Teacher of the Year, she was kind of joking around, and, you know, I say joking around, she thinks that she was joking around, but in reality, it really kind of scared a lot of people, I think, especially without knowing the context of it. So, you know, it was always very strange. Yeah, not counting lunch. So, yeah, but it was very odd. But she threatened to, like, beat us to the ground with a wet noodle, which I think she said wet noodle to be, like, unharmless because it's school. But, you know, that's just because I don't know what it is, it's more terrifying. But, so, yeah, there was that. But, yeah, so, basically, yeah, so she threatened to beat us to the ground with a wet noodle, and then, she said the principal would come in and, you know, help her out. And she was like, she got so she was talking like this, and she was just being really threatening, but trying to be funny, but she's not. That kind of thing. So, here, I'm trying to get this circle here. Hold on. So, yeah, anyway, so she was like, yeah, and then I'll get the principal. Yeah, I think she meant a pool noodle. But, yeah, she said, and then I'll get the principal, and she'll be slapping you to the ground with a wet noodle. And I'll be like, oh, you know, Miss Principal, or I guess it was technically Dr. Principal, because she went by Doctor. So, oh, Dr. Principal, may I have a turn? And she'd say, sure. Yeah, she didn't know how to be funny. It was scary. And she's like, sure, Miss Evil Math Teacher, I'd love to. And then they just, like, go back and forth, and I was so terrified. I'm like, what is happening right now? It was all very strange. But, so, yeah, that was a very interesting threat. So, you know, lovely 6th grade math class here. Yeah, she never explained it. She never did. I think everyone was always very confused. Like, she assumed for us to know what it meant, but nobody did. Yeah, sorry. I don't mean for that. No nightmares here. But, Oh, so it was pool noodle. Okay. Yeah, I guess that just makes sense. So, yeah. Anyways, it was very strange. Very, very strange. But, yeah, so, typical school things, right? It's all very strange. I don't know what I'm doing here with these weird ringy things. I just feel like it. Yeah, there. So, true, yeah, pool noodle was gonna be painful. That would actually hurt someone. So, yeah, but that was math teacher. And then let's see. Yeah. Middle school's been very, very strange. Let's see. My text message just gotta load if I'm gonna figure out who I'm gonna talk about next. Yes, so let's see. Oh, right, that one. Bus. I don't know about bus story, man. Bus every day on the bus was weird. I don't remember a single specific day. They were all strange. No school bus is ever normal. Did you ever have a normal day on the school bus? Oh yeah, one time my bus driver almost got fired because he was trying to keep me safe from, people being weird on the road. So, yeah, we pulled up. Yeah. But, yeah, so we pulled up to my bus stop, and I'm the last, Dr. Principal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of buses are weird. Yeah. But, let's see, oh yeah, so, yeah, so, my bus driver, I'm the last person on my bus, okay? So, it's not like, that's a lot of stories, man. You can save those for another day. Maybe wait till you come over. But, yeah. So, I was the last person on my bus. I've always been, the last, not always, but, one of the last people on my, bus stop to, leave the bus. So, I remember... You took a cab? Is that allowed? Are you allowed to take a cab? I mean, for most of my years, my dad just came and picked me up. But, like a taxi? I've never I've seen taxis, but cab as in taxi cab took you from school to home every day. That's... Oh. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, man. Yeah, I guess. Man, yeah. So, anyway, yeah, so, but we got to my bus stop, and I always try to make conversation with my bus drivers, because typically the kids are too weird to talk to, so I just talk to the only adult on the bus. That's another thing. I've always been the weird kid who, like, doesn't like recess. I'm the kid who just, like, sits in the corner and plays with bugs or talks to the teacher. One time the teacher had to legitimately ask me, hey, don't you want to go, play with the kids and not talk to me? Why are you talking to me, basically? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I like talking to you. And she's like, well, I gotta watch after all these kids, if you could just go play. I'm like, well, that's one less person that you gotta watch after. And she's like, no, put out her phone or something. Here, I gotta do something. So, it was a funny thing to me that I had to be told to not speak to the teacher all recess and actually go do recess. I was the one kid in class who enjoyed it. So, whenever she'd be like, okay, we have a test today, I'd be like, yay! Unless it was social studies. But everyone else would be like, oh, come on, not again. But I liked tests. I was such a weird child. But, So, I'm a very, very strange child. I'm still a strange child. I mean, look at me now. Yeah, it's not, it sounds sad. It sounds really sad. That's just the life that I enjoyed, that was me, that I was that kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, seventh grade social studies was fine. I liked that, because we had a much better teacher. But 6th grade, man, I don't know. So anyways, yeah, so, what was I getting? Oh yeah, so, we pulled up to my bus stop, and I was just, chilling, talking to my bus driver, and we see these kind of suspicious looking people, like, kind of walking around, cursing, throwing up gang signs, whatever suspicious people do on the street. And, we were kind of concerned. He's like, here, I'll just, you're the last person on my bus, I'll just take you to your house. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So we did that, but apparently his manager or whatever caught note of that and didn't like that he wasn't stopping at a designated bus stop. And he's like, look, that kid, me, could have, depending on who those people were, could have, been hurt or, or something. I don't know. Or followed. No one knew. So instead, he just took me directly to the house after those people passed by the sidewalk. So it was very strange. But he almost got fired until he was able to, like, basically communicate to his boss, look, if I'm doing what's best for safety for these children, don't fire me because I'm trying to do the safer option here. So, Yeah. Sorry, this is a lot of editing of me just doing this sketch of this really old character. I mean, there's a very small resemblance here, There's a small resemblance. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the back things. That's another piece I have yet to add. So, let's see. Oh, yeah, the time I took... the time I took, a book from my school, that's a fun story. I still feel very bad about that to this day. Reason being, I still have that book. I have no idea where it is, and I have no idea who the teacher is that I took it from. Now, I didn't do it on purpose. Well, I mean, kind of. You could see it that way, but, yeah. Dad is here. Hello, how are you? Yes, I'm just telling stories, man. Yeah. No. So, yeah. So, we're in this little, like, kind of book clubs thing where, we'd get together in groups and we'd read this book. And the book that we were reading in particular was a book called I Am Malala. And, it's based on a true story, about, this girl. You might have heard of the book. I don't know. I don't really need to explain it too much. The point is, I didn't finish my book in the time that everyone else had finished their books. So I ended up just kind of saying, okay, well, I can hold on to it for like another week and I'll finish reading the book and then I can just have a clear head about that. That decision has made me guilty for the rest of my life. That was the worst decision. If I had a time machine, I'd go back in time and tell myself, what is wrong with you? It's okay. That book has no impact on your future. Give it back. While you still have it in your hands, give it back. Return it. Ooh. Hello. Sunpaw is here. I think 4th grade. It was in 4th grade. Old school. So before the new school was made, before it was renovated. So yes. 4th grade, I remember the name of the teacher whose class I was in, but I don't remember the name of the teacher who my book club class was. So that would probably be more important for this story if I knew that. Anyway, so yeah, at the very end I was like, let me just keep it, read it for a little bit longer, and that was a mistake. I took it home. I didn't even read it. I don't know what was wrong with me. I didn't read it. I think I forgot that it was like in my backpack or something. Yeah, but I forgot that it was in my backpack for a while. And then I put it on my bookshelf at home, forgot that it was on my bookshelf for a while, and still said, oh, it's okay, as long as it's in by the end of the year. End of the year comes, I've lost the book at this point. I don't know where it went. Somehow it didn't end up where I thought it was on the thing, on the bookshelf, and I had lost it, and I was like, oh crap. And I think 6th grade, maybe, I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to the teacher, or the name that I was pretty sure was the teacher, but I'm still not sure if even that was it. And I don't remember what I wrote, but I remember thinking at the time, I don't know if this is it. Maybe it is. But, yeah, I am still alive, but, not the best alive. I still very much regret it, and I still have that book somewhere in my possession, and if I find it, and if we're back to school at that time, actually, no, never mind, I'm not gonna find the book before 8th grade ends. If I find it, I'll just have to donate it. I can't donate it because it has school stickers on it from when I was in 4th grade. And I feel so bad that I just didn't do something about it while I still had the chance to. But, I don't know. What tail did this guy have? Nothing that matched. Okay, I'm gonna... Yeah. Anyway, so... I might do another stream some other time, maybe tomorrow, where I finish this drawing and do line art and color and such, but for now, this is just what I'm doing for the sketch. I believe it's done. That is... Well, you know, I should let it go, and I kind of have let it go, but the problem is, I know where it is. I know that I have it. I just can't get to it, and I'm not positive if I'll find it if I still do get to that place. Well, you know, that's the thing, too, is that, you know, this is my last year at the school. It's probably all going to be virtual. I've been in more trouble than y'all guys know. But, you know, Thank you. So, yeah, without markings or rings, I mean, I guess the eyes are still there with the markings, but, you know. Oh, and I did that on the tail later, too. Anyway, so yes, there's all the complex markings, rings. Thank you. So, what do you mean with leadership workshop? Does that continue through high school? I mean, I don't know. My problem is that, you know, if once school is over, once this year's over, which it'll probably be all virtual, and I probably won't find the book at all by then. Oh, well, that's cool, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's even worth it at this point. You know, it's not like anyone's like, oh, we're missing a book. We don't have enough money to buy a new one. It's not, like, terrible. But, you know, it's here. So, you know. I'd say it was a successful stream. I didn't do anything. Yeah. Anyway, so, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but you know, we'll see how things work out. I'm kind of over it, but you know, I still kind of wish I could have fixed that in time, and I think I'm out of time. But you know, it's been a really long stream of me doing practically nothing but talking. But you know, regardless, I'm happy. Anyway, you know, I hope y'all have a good night. Well, hold on, I'm gonna rechat. Yeah. There was probably more stories I left out. Hold on, let me just check that real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was about it. Anyways, you know, Yeah, so I guess I'll see y'all later. Maybe do another stream tomorrow or something. Hopefully it won't be as much talking and more actual work, but I am happy with how this turned out. It's better than I thought it was going to, but yet somehow to me it still resembles this character, so I'm happy with that. Here, I might do like this. Is that gonna be too much? Yeah, I think that's too much. Well, maybe not. I guess it's fine. Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe not. I guess not. So. Alrighty. Well. Yes, make a list of new stories to tell. Well, I will see y'all later. Thank you, and have a good night or day. I don't know what time it is for y'all. But,